So I've been pumped to talk to this guy because ever since I found out he launched a food blog, it's the greatest thing ever. Like, my two loves are sports and food. I think many people feel the same way. Rich Cho is the general manager of the Charlotte Hornets, and he has launched a blog here, BigTimeBites.com. Rich, before we get into that, who wins one-on-one, Michael with one leg or LeVar Ball?
For sure, MJ.
Would you be allowed to answer differently if you felt differently?
I would never feel differently anyway. Sure, MJ.
If Michael said publicly, I could beat someone one-on-one with no arms and no legs, you're picking Michael or that person?
I'm picking MJ.
All right, let's talk about your website, BigTimeBites.com. This is odd. I don't know that Greg Popovich is like an Uber driver in the offseason. You have a little bit of a side hustle going on. How did this all start?
You know, I've always loved food, and when I'm always on the, I'm on the road a lot, whether it's a big city like New York or San Fran, or a small city like a college city like Lexington or Lawrence, Kansas. And just always looking for good food. And I'll ask around before I go to those cities, hey, do you know a good place in Lawrence or Davidson? And try and get recommendations. And then, you just try and look for good food. And then I get asked a ton myself, and just having been to a lot of places, I give out a lot of recommendations. And then I wind up writing those down in my notepad. And I thought a couple of years ago, you know what, I'd like to create a food blog so I can kind of put all this together and kind of share my love for food and have people share it among themselves as well.
So, like, for example, you drafted Malik Monk out of Kentucky. When you're going to scout Malik Monk and you're making a phone call, let's say in advance to John Calipari, are you asking two questions? Tell me about Monk and tell me where to eat?
Yeah, kind of, yeah. And
which one comes first? Which one comes first, though?
Oh, the player, of course. But Coach Cal's got his favorites. He even has dishes named after him at certain restaurants. So he'll know where the good spots are. And a lot of the assistant coaches, they know where the spots are, too.
At the Coach Cal restaurant, you only get an appetizer. You don't get any other meals. It's just one and done right away. You don't get anything else, of course. Talking with Rich Cho, the general manager of the Charlotte Hornets. Evan Cohen, Mike Babchick in for Dan Patrick. Dan Patrick Show. Rich has a blog, BigTimeBites.com. Did you have to ask Michael Jordan's permission to do this?
MJ knows I'm a big eater. He's made the comment before that I have a hollow leg, so he's aware, and he knows I love to eat, and he knows my affinity for food.
Was he worried at all that it would take time away from your GM job?
No, the thing is, I don't sleep too much. I sleep like 4 hours a night, and always really have since law school. And I've got, I don't have a lot of vices really. Like, I don't go work out 2 hours a day like some people. I don't do things like other people. It's really my work. And then I've got, a food vice, and then it's my kids. So that's about it. That's all I do, really.
What's more enjoyable for you, analyzing a player or analyzing a meal?
Well, definitely the job comes first. And, the great thing about this job is it's all basketball related. And the funnest part about my job is just combining my analytical background, with the engineering degree and law degree with the basketball part. So it's all fun for me.
Rich, who pays for more of these meals that you write about, you or Michael?
Oh no, I'm paying for them.
But you're telling me if you're on the road with the Hornets and you go to dinner, you have some sort of per diem, don't you? I mean, isn't Michael kind of paying for this blog?
Yeah. Well, no, I'm on a per diem. Sure, everybody that travels in the NBA is on a per diem.
So, in other words, yeah, the Hornets are paying for it. So, I look at this thing, and it's amazing. BigTimeBites.com, how you analyze this, how you actually break down each meal. Tell everybody how you do that, both in terms of the taste as well as the pricing.
Yeah, so first of all, there's a sports slant to the food blog. So, like, all my reviews are called scouting reports. And then visitors can put in a scouting report too. So it's kind of a hybrid of my reviews plus almost like a Yelp type environment. So I don't think this model is out there anywhere, but you put in a picture and then you put in a rating, and we've got 5 different ratings: rotation, starter, all-star, franchise, and Hall of Fame. So like a Hall of Fame dish is the best of the best. It's equivalent to like a player, the best of the best. And then I also have something in there where it says, okay, this is a dish that should be on your bucket list before you die. So so you rate that, you rate the dish, you put in the information for where the restaurant is. You put in the cuisine. We've got a bunch of different flags in there. So if it's Spanish dish, you put in the Spanish flag. You put in your scouting report. You put in, we've got a rubric for the price. And then you also put in whether it's open breakfast, lunch, dinner, or late night. And then you save your report, and then it goes onto our website.
Outside of Charlotte, best NBA city for a meal?
Ooh, I love there's so many different good food cities, but one city I really love is Boston. They've got a lot of great seafood out there. LA's got a lot of great cities, a lot of great food. But if I had to pick one, it'd probably be Boston with the lobster rolls up there and the seafood.
Now, where are you? Lobster rolls are so interesting because I get into this debate with people all the time. Do you like the mayo-y lobster roll? Do you like the buttery one, the hot or the cold? Where are you on the lobster roll?
I like the hot.
Yeah, me too.
Me too.
Because the flavor of lobster needs to be there, right? Don't you think the mayo one kind of takes it away a little bit?
Yeah, either one is probably not good for the calorie count, but I personally like the hot better. And you're right, the mayo does take away from it.
Talking with Rich Cho, general manager of the Charlotte Hornets. They do have a basketball team, but it's not as interesting as BigTimeBites.com, I have to be honest with you. If you could switch careers right now with one person, would you switch with Bob Myers, the general manager of the Warriors, or Guy Fieri?
If I could switch careers, well, I wouldn't be switching careers with Bob, but if I had a different life, yeah, it'd probably be something with food. Actually, I'm big on tennis too, so I'd probably try and do something tennis related.
But you wouldn't want to be Guy Fieri? I mean, isn't Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives kind of what you're doing in more of an online base of it?
Yeah, no, that'd be a good gig too. He's got a great gig. Same with Andrew Zimmerman, going around everywhere eating odd stuff. I'd be into that too.
What's the end game? Is it to get a show on the Food Network?
No, this is kind of just a fun thing that hoping to share my love for food with everybody. And the end game, if we were able to ever make some money out of it, I'd want to probably donate it somewhere. I was born in Burma, and one thing I want to do down the road is be able to make enough money to help some people in Burma.
Then let's finish with this, Rich. There is an irony about a man who grew up in Burma, who came to the United States, who didn't have much money, wasn't eating a lot, now a successful general manager and doing a food blog. I mean, there is kind of an amazing story tale or fairy tale to this, no?
Well, yeah. I guess there is. I guess there is some irony in that. But probably my favorite cuisine in the world is Burmese food.
Which is what? I don't know what that is. Like, I wouldn't know what that was if it was in front of me right now.
Yeah, it's a cross between Thai, Chinese, and Indian. It's probably the best way I can explain it.
Thai, Chinese, and Indian. Yeah, that sounds good to me. I mean, it's a little Asian fusion with a little Indian food with a little spice in there. That's tremendous.
Yeah.
Tremendous. Well, listen, I'm excited about this. BigTimeBites.com. I may even do a review. I got to be honest. And that's the coolest thing is I could do a review. I don't know if I want to review the Dwight Howard trade as much, but I would like to review this. BigTimeBites.com. Rich Show, who gets his meals paid for by Michael Jordan, whether he's acknowledging that or not. And MJ would beat, we learned from him that MJ would beat someone with no arms and no legs in one-on-one, that you'd still pick MJ. Thank you, Rich. There's Rich Show.
Okay.
Rich Show, the general manager of the Charlotte Hornets. BigTimeBites.com.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.